The morning sun stretched its golden arms across the quiet meadow, painting everything in warm light. Birds chirped from tall trees, and a cool breeze rustled the grass. But in one corner of this beautiful meadow, voices echoed louder than the birds. Faster than the wind, bragged the rabbit, his chest puffed out as he hopped in circles. No one, and I mean no one, can beat me in a race. The other animals sighed. They had heard this 100 times before. The rabbit was indeed fast, but his arrogance wore everyone thin. He liked to show off, darting from tree to tree, rushing past them just to remind them how slow they were. The tortoise, sitting quietly by the stream, lifted his head. His shell glistened with drops of water as he calmly chewed on a leaf. Unlike the rabbit, he never sought attention. He was slow, yes, but steady and thoughtful. Most of the animals liked him because he listened more than he spoke. Why so quiet, Tortoise? The rabbit shouted across the meadow. Don't you envy me? Don't you wish you could move like lightning instead of crawling like a rock? Some animals chuckled nervously, but the tortoise didn't get angry. He simply blinked and replied softly, "Speed is not everything, rabbit." The rabbit laughed so hard he rolled onto the grass. Not everything. Speed is everything. How else do you win in life? And then came the words that shifted everything. The tortoise, without raising his voice, said, "Perhaps we should find out. Why don't we race?" The meadow fell silent. Even the birds seemed to pause mid-song. A tortoise challenging a rabbit? It sounded ridiculous. Some animals whispered, "He'll lose. He'll embarrass himself." Others admired his courage. The rabbit burst into more laughter. "You race me? That will be over before you even take your second step." "Perhaps," said the tortoise calmly. "Or perhaps not." Curiosity lit the eyes of the animals. A race between the fastest and the slowest creature in the meadow, what could be more exciting? Dash dash dash. The race begins. The next morning, the meadow buzzed with excitement. Animals gathered from far and wide. Deer, squirrels, hedgehogs, even birds that perched on branches to get the best view. A long path had been marked out, stretching across the field, through the forest, and ending at the hilltop where a tall oak tree stood. The fox, known for being clever and fair, was chosen as the referee. He raised his paw and shouted, "On your marks, get set, go." In a flash, the rabbit bolted forward like a streak of white lightning. Dust rose behind him as he sped down the path. The tortoise, however, took his first slow, deliberate step. One, then another. The animals cheered wildly for the rabbit, their eyes following his swift figure. "He's too fast. The tortoise doesn't stand a chance," they muttered. And indeed, within minutes, the rabbit was so far ahead that the tortoise was nothing more than a tiny dot in the distance. But instead of running all the way, the rabbit slowed down, smirking. "This is too easy. He's so far behind that I could take a nap and still win." Under the shade of a big tree, the rabbit stretched, yawned, and curled into a ball of soft fur. Within moments, he was fast asleep. Dash dash dash. The tortoise's journey. Meanwhile, the tortoise plodded steadily along. Step after step, he didn't rush, didn't complain. He crossed the meadow, moved through the forest, and past the tree where the rabbit slept soundly. Some animals whispered in awe, "He's still going." Others shook their heads, thinking, "But he'll never win." The tortoise, however, wasn't racing against the rabbit in his heart. He was racing against doubt, the doubt that slow meant weak, that steady meant small. His legs ached, his shell felt heavier with each mile, but he carried on. One step at a time, he reminded himself. One step closer. Dash dash dash. The unexpected twist. Hours passed, and the rabbit stirred awake. He stretched, blinked, and yawned. Well, time to finish this easy victory. But when he hopped back onto the path, his eyes widened. Ahead of him, far, far ahead, was the tortoise, slowly climbing the hill toward the finish line. The rabbit's heart raced. He dashed forward with all his might. His paws thumped the ground, his ears flapped in the wind. The crowd gasped as he closed the distance, faster and faster. But just before the rabbit could overtake him, something happened. The tortoise stumbled, his front leg got caught in a root sticking out of the ground, and he tumbled onto his side. His heavy shell made it difficult to roll back up. The animals gasped. Some shouted, "Get up, tortoise. You can do it." Others looked nervously at the rabbit, wondering what he would do. Dash dash dash. The moment of choice. The rabbit froze. This was his chance. He could sprint past the tortoise, win the race, and prove once and for all that speed was king. His pride burned inside him, urging him to go. But then, something unexpected stirred in his heart. He saw the tortoise struggling, legs flailing helplessly. He remembered the tortoise's calm words, "Speed is not everything." The rabbit's breath caught. For the first time, he wondered, what if winning isn't everything either? He looked at the cheering crowd, at the desperate tortoise, and at the finish line just beyond. And in that moment, he made a choice. Instead of rushing ahead, the rabbit hopped over to the tortoise. He gently nudged him, then pushed with all his strength until the tortoise rolled back upright. The tortoise blinked, surprised. "You helped me." The rabbit smiled, though a little awkwardly. "A race isn't worth it if I win by stepping over you. Come on, let's finish this together." The crowd fell silent, stunned. Even the wind seemed to hush, waiting. Dash dash dash. The emotional climax. Side by side, the rabbit and the tortoise began moving again, one slow, one fast, but both together. The rabbit slowed his pace to match the tortoise's steady steps. Step by step, they climbed the hill. When they finally crossed the finish line, they did so together. The meadow erupted in cheers, louder than ever before. Not because of who won, but because of what they had just witnessed. The fox raised his paw and declared, "The race is a tie." But the animals knew it was more than that. They had seen something greater than victory. They had seen compassion. The tortoise turned to the rabbit with a grateful smile. "You could have beaten me. Why did you help?" The rabbit's ears drooped slightly as he admitted, "Because I realized speed alone doesn't make me strong. Kindness does." The tortoise nodded, his eyes warm. "And you proved that today."